Hey guys, I get in a lot of weapons lights to kind of test and look over. A lot of them are very budget friendly. If you watch any of those videos, I pretty much always say, like, I personally would probably not use this on my primary home defense gun. Let's say that you've got 4 or 5 pistols and you've got one that's your go-to home defense. Personally, I would put something either from Streamlight or Surefire, maybe even Olight, or Mod Light. But a lot of the budget stuff I would kind of avoid on the primary one, and even for sure, like my carry pistol. I don't carry a light on it, but if you were to, I would probably look at Streamlight or Surefire for my carry weapon as well. Now, I keep a lot of those lights on my other pistols and rifles and stuff, but they're not kind of like my go-to ones. So, saying all that, I have a Streamlight, the TLR-1 HL, in today. This is not a brand new release or anything. This has been out for a while. I actually had the 800 lumen one probably 4 years or so ago. And before they had the HL, they just had the TLR-1. So this concept, this light's been out, I don't even know, probably 5, 8 years. This version's not been out that long, but the light itself, the overall design and stuff has been. But kind of what I want to show you with this video is a lot of lights claim to have 1,000 lumens. I don't have a device to test that or not. Um, on a weapon light, that's not important. A lot of people market that. What's important are the candela. This light has over 20,000 candela. And candela is important because it's kind of like how focused the beam is. So instead of just being a big broad wall of light, it's more like a narrower beam, because that's important. Like if you pull a gun and you plan to use it, you want to make sure that person, that's threatening you does in fact have a gun or a knife or some other kind of weapon like that, and it's not just a cell phone or whatever in their hand. But we will go over all the specs and features of this TLR-1 HL. But I really want to show you guys the difference between a pretty good quality light versus a budget 1,000 lumen light. And we'll do some beam shots just to kind of give you guys a nice difference. But this is their standard packaging for Streamlight. Gives you a few of the specs back here: 1,000 lumens. It uses 2 of the CR123A disposable batteries. It have a Lumen IPX7, waterproof rated. It does have a strobe mode. It mounts pretty securely and fast. You don't even have to use any tools. You can just put your fingers on that little thing to twist it. There are multiple keys and a lifetime warranty. So let's get it out of the package, and we will see what all comes with it here. So obviously we have the light. They do include the 2 batteries. There are all of our keys. Again, these are for different styles of guns. So you can see there's different labels on there. So whether you have Glocks or Berettas or Smith & Wessons, you can switch this out. And then a couple little tools in there. And a manual, and then some stickers and stuff. There are the 5 rail keys that are included. So while I'm showing you some close-ups here of everything, we'll go over some of the numbers. Again, it's 1,000 lumens, and that will run for an hour and a half. And it's just the one setting. There's not like low settings and other stuff. I like a weapon light just to be simple. One setting. The throw on it is 283 meters, and it has the 20,000 candela, like I mentioned earlier. Runs on the CR123A batteries. It takes 2 of them. The dimensions, the length on it is 3.39 inches. The overall width is 1.47 inches. And the height is 1.44 inches. And a weight with the batteries is 4.2 ounces. And again, the whole thing is constructed out of some type of 6000 series aluminum, so it's shock and recoil resistant. Uh, the glass up on it is made out of a Borofloat glass, and it is impact resistant. And if you look here, they have a serial number on every one of their lights, and I always appreciate that when a manufacturer does that. Shows you on this side, the battery goes with the negative end first. This side's positive end going in first. Up here is the latch on how we'll get to the batteries here in a bit. And then this is where you will loosen this to mount it to your rail. And it's just, you can see it, that's spring loaded then. I don't know if you can see that little like C-shaped clip in there. If you were to ever pull this all the way apart, be careful not to lose that. That's what kind of allows that spring to happen like that. If you were to lose it, you can still put this on your rail and still tighten it down. It just makes it a little bit tougher because it doesn't spring open like that. So yeah, pay attention to that little clip right there. So when I had my 800 lumen version a few years ago, I actually struggled getting the batteries in for the first time because I followed the instructions here, and it shows like the battery latch door kind of being flat as it is right now. And then it shows the door kind of going up to like almost like a vertical or like almost like a 90-degree angle. So it was like that. And I could not get this thing to open up for the life of me. I tried and tried and tried. Almost was like to the point where I was going to put like screwdrivers and just the thing would not come open. So if you get here, what you have to do is actually pull this all the way down. I wish that the picture showed it better. And then the door will pop open for you. Just like that. But yeah, this door, this little latch thing has to be pushed all the way over if you ever get one of these and struggle with that. All right, got the batteries installed. So we'll go over the user interface here. It's pretty simple on this, which is what you want with the weapon light. You can have a momentary, you can have a constant. The controls are paddle style, they are ambidextrous. So if you want a momentary, you push up on the right side. Okay. When you're ready for the light to go off, you just release it. All right. If you want momentary from the other side, you push down. And I'll show you here so you can see how the switch will rotate. So obviously it's going up one way, down another way. If you want constant, you can just flip it over and leave it on. You can see how that switch obviously went up when I did it. So obviously if you're using your left hand, you just push up for the constant. And then there is a strobe feature. So strobe warning here. And basically you go into the momentary and then you can release, and within like a half second, you go back into it. So we'll go up and then back into it. And you can also get a constant strobe. A lot of people don't know about that. But yeah, you can keep that on. It's just, you just got to go into it and then right back down into it. There is a way to disable the strobe if you don't want it on there. This has the 10 tap programming. So basically you'll push up into the momentary 10 times. And on the 10th time, you just hold it for like a second or so. The light will flash and then it disables the strobe. So let's try it here together. Light just went off. Now I don't have strobe anymore. So if I do this, it's just always going to be my 1000 lumen, 20,000 candela. And it'll be the same down here. Now, if you want it back, you just do the same thing again. So one of the budget lights I'm going to be comparing the Streamlight to is the ThruNite TW10. ThruNite is a very reputable brand. This is a 900 lumen weapon light. This is 1000 lumens. The naked eye cannot tell a difference between that 100 lumens. They should look equally as bright. This, however, only has around 4,000 candela. This has 20,000 candela. And again, with a weapon light, the candela is more important than the lumens. And I'm pretty certain that you guys will be able to tell a huge difference whenever I do the nighttime shots. All right, I want to show you guys the difference between the budget 900 lumen and the Streamlight 1000 lumen. I'll do the budget one here first. As you can see, it kind of lights up the wall in the room, pretty nicely. But now let me show you the difference here. This is the Streamlight. You see the hot spot on the wall over there? That is super important if you are trying to identify a potential threat. All right, I'm about 35 feet or so away from this wall, and there are some lights that are on out here, but I want to show you the difference between the budget and the Streamlight out here. All right, first up, we'll do the budget. And again, it's kind of more of a floodlight. It does light up the area pretty well, but again, I'll show you the difference here now. Again, it's much more concentrated or focused right where you need the light to be. All right, one more area to show you, about 50 feet away from this corner. Here's the budget one first. And shut this one off and show you the Streamlight. I know sometimes the iPhone like auto adjust, but the beam is just so much tighter and more focused. Here's the budget one more time. Kind of look right in that corner. And now the Streamlight one more time. All right, guys, out at the range here this morning with the Streamlight. I'm going to put probably 100 rounds or so through it. Make sure that there's not any flickering, make sure the light doesn't shut off. I've had dozens of Streamlights that have never had an issue really with any of them, so I don't expect any issues, but we'll still make sure. All right, guys, back from the range, and as expected, there weren't any issues at all. I only shot around 50 rounds total, but no flickering, no shutting off. It performed flawlessly, and it never got hot at all. Even between like magazine changes, and then I had to reload 2 magazines. I left it on the whole time. I had to change camera positions and tripods, and I just always left it on, and it was probably on for 20 to 30 minutes total, and it never got hot at all. So some people are going to like the fact that this takes disposable or throwaway CR123A batteries. Some people are not going to like that. They would rather just have it be rechargeable. There's pros and cons to both types. But what I will say is that you do have to remove the light when you go to change out those batteries. It only takes a few seconds. You don't need any tools or anything like that. Just twist that, push in the button, and the thing just pops right off. I mentioned earlier that this has the Glock rail key already pre-installed when I received it. And for those of you that don't know, different manufacturers on their rail slots have different size slots here. So like this is a Beretta, this is a Taurus. And if you look here, the thickness from this way to this way is not the same on different guns. And so Streamlight includes basically all the keys that you're going to need for just about any gun out there. So I brought the ThruNite TW10 back out again, just to kind of show you guys what I'm trying to display here in the video. I want you to see like the hot spot difference on the table here. So when I turn these both on, you'll see that the Streamlight has that really defined, very intense hotspot right there. Whereas the ThruNite doesn't really have one at all. And like the logic might be you're like, well, wouldn't you rather prefer like a big wall? Like you'd want to be able to see as much as you possibly can. That's not the truth with the weapon light. You want to have your beam be as focused and direct as you can. Again, you need to be able to identify a potential threat and then see if they do have any type of weapons. And a lower candela light just can't do that. And again, I like this light, but it would never be my primary home defense. It for sure would not be my any type of carry weapon at all. And it's not because it's a bad brand or like that I wouldn't trust the light. I trust this brand a lot. It's just not enough directed light for situations like that. For your carry gun or for home defense, I'm always going to recommend Streamlight, Surefire, Mod Light, and maybe even a few models from Olight. So at the time of me recording this video, the Streamlights are coming in at around $140 to $150, depending on the retailer. And that's still half the price of the Surefires, and the Mod Lights are like $400. So, you know, having 20,000 candela, $140, it's still a really, really good buy. Now, the ThruNites are coming in at $36. So you could obviously buy like 4 of them for the price of the Streamlight. And I would still recommend the Streamlight if it's going to be on your duty pistol, your home defense pistol, rifle, shotgun, whatever. Anything that's going to be protecting you, I would recommend the Streamlight over the budget one. All right, guys, I will leave an Amazon link for this down in the video description. If you guys have any questions or comments, please leave them down below. And that's going to be it on this one. Thanks for watching. I appreciate it.